What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? LAC Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at lacsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
good mind on that attempt by Challen Rogers.
Michael Simon with the great back check.
Good back check there by Wes Berg. Outlaws looking to clear with Finn Sullivan. Now up ahead to Zach Courier. Here's Eric Law. Over to Kavanaugh. Back to Law. Now Kyler Balestri. Up to Romar Dennis. Is that everybody getting a touch? Settles on the stick of Chris Kluche. Save made on the shot. Quick clear up ahead. Boston trying to get Denver moving around. Ball whips around, shot goes high. And some frustration there by Mark Carkerton.
Carkerton definitely wants that one back. You know, they know that one-on-one, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a tough night against Denver. And so when you have a fast break, you really want to cash in on it.
There's a goal. First goal of the game, scored by Carkerton. And boy, ever since he came over that trade with Ohio, he has been a goal-scoring machine, averaging over 4 goals per game as a cannon.
Yeah, this guy just knows how to fill it up and find the back of the net. Missed on that high shot on the power play, but just makes himself available, finds himself open, gets a little bit of space. And that's definitely something that the Cannons are going to have to do really well tonight, because you mentioned they're the worst unassisted shooting team in the league. And the Outlaws defense, on the other hand, has allowed the 3rd lowest unassisted shooting percentage. Only Dallas and Florida are better in the league.
So Boston back on the board now for the first time midway through this first quarter. Baptiste and Adler getting the best of the #1 overall pick out of the University of Denver. Playing just down the road is college lacrosse. About 3-4 miles from here. There's Schlosser. Over to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh loves playing that almost point guard role right from that right side to the left of the goalie, in position to be able to pass or shoot. Ball whips around. Shot clock under 20. Law will settle it down, look to go one-on-one. Looks to make a question mark move. Rebound was loose there for a second for Snyder. And the shot clock was about ready to go off. Instead, Boston turned it over, but now Denver turns it over. So we got a little bit of a scrum, and the Cannons come away with it with Carkerton. You'll notice, whoa, stick goes flying there from Carkerton. Great play defensively by Eli Goldberg. Up ahead to Schlosser. That glorious mane of his flowing in the air as he runs. Schlosser still has it. He's going to get the, oh, beautiful pass. Oh, he had the great pass, and now we're going to get a flag. Schlosser, very unselfish, probably had the shot. Instead, he saw out of the corner of his eye to the left, Eric Law made the pass, and Law got pushed as he made his move to the front of the goal. So Denver go on the power play.
Number 85. 85, push, 30.
Mitch Belisle.
So Denver's going to go on the power play for the first time tonight. 32nd man up.
Denver leads the league in power play goals with 19. Denver first in the league on the power play, first in the league in penalty kill. Special teams often tell the story in games like this, and Denver surged their way to the top of the league in both categories. Shot Goes wide of Fiorito. Still 42 seconds on the shot clock, so Law with the restart. Kavanaugh. Ball whipped around. Westberg, another former Denver Pioneer. Over to Schlosser. Denver content to try to get a good shot attempt. They do! And it's Schlosser. Rifles it high left.
That will not be a power play goal.
Fiorito.
And that won't be a power play goal because the power play had ended. And the guys on the sidelines in Boston were going crazy because the power play had ended, but they didn't release the penalty. They didn't release the player. And so Turi couldn't come down and back up, but the power play had been over by about 4 seconds when Schlosser let that fly.
So there's Schlosser with his 19th goal of the season, which moves him into a tie for third on the team in scoring behind Law and Kavanaugh, tied with Ballistri. What a find he has been for the Outlaws. Loose ball, scooped up by Gobrecht. And now a turnover ball to Boston.
Illegal procedure by Denver.
Cockerton with the reset. Kyle Jackson hands it off. Tim Edwards, high pass, corralled. Shot, turnaround shot goes high. That attempt there by James Pannell. Pannell, Cockerton, two cannons that have to have big nights tonight. Cockerton already has a goal. Here's Zed Williams. Jack Kelly scrambling around, ball loose, picked up by the Outlaws as they get it out to Nick Tintle.
Kelly made a great first save, and the second shot hit the pipe.
Denver in transition, trying to catch Boston scrambling. Cannons do a good job of getting back set on defense. Ticking down, under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Great to have you with us here on Lax Sports Network. Mike Evans, Ron Zwerin, happy 4th of July. Big crowd here at Mile High Stadium. Now officially known as Broncos Stadium at Mile High. The goal scored there. As getting that is Zach Currier, his 7th of the season.
Zach Currier with the low to high shot gives Denver the 5-1 lead with 3:42 left to go in the first.
Yeah, we got a tie.
Yeah, I can hear you.
The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
Gone into a locker room at 2-6.
You're almost thinking that the season's over.
Back-to-back weeks now that Denver surrendered 20-plus goals, and they will have to clean things up if they want to turn this season around.
I didn't think we were going to really get to the playoffs. No one thought we would make it to the championship.
This could be the beginning of something pretty special for the Denver Outlaws.
And that's it! For the second time in 3 years, Denver does it!
In 2015, New York sat atop the lacrosse world. 2016 was the year of the Outlaws. By the machine. Who will get their hands on the Seinfeld Trophy in 2018? Find out on August 18th when the champion is South Carolina. Tickets are
I can't hear anything.
No, I don't hear anything.
I hear nothing.
Back here at Mile High Stadium as we're getting ready to get back into action here. 4th of July, big crowd here on hand. This is always one of the signature events during the season during Major League Lacrosse, the big 4th of July game here in Denver. Crowds usually up over 25, 30,000. So cool to look down. The whole lower bowl is filling in up into the second deck.
It's a great night, and they do such a nice job here at Mile High Stadium. After the game, the Outlaws, within about 5 or 10 minutes of the game, they do fireworks inside the stadium, and the fans are allowed to come down a little bit closer, get down towards field level.
And the home crowd watching the Outlaws jump out to a 5-1 lead. 2-point shot, score! Whoa! Just like that, a 2-point goal.
Sergio Perkovic.
Scored by Sergio.
Yeah, this guy can heat it up from way downtown. The Notre Dame product. You got to know where he and Max Seabald are. Right there, they're playing the two-man game. And Perkovic with just some high heat just lets that go flying. And him and Seabald with the high jump and bump. And just like that, it's 5-3.
Boston has 8 2-point goals this season. Max Seabald, by the way, has 5 of them.
Yeah,
so
Seabald can let it rip.
Back to X, Baptiste, and Adler. Looks like that stick is ready to snap there for Adler. Look at Baptiste's strength, just wearing on it. But Denver comes away with it momentarily. Ball still down. 50-50 ball scooped up by the Outlaws. And they'll play it back to Jack Kelly. And they'll start to clear with Matt Bockley over to Schlosser.
Last couple games, Denver has been bringing Cloutier out of the box. They have not been playing him down on the attack line where he normally is. And it's been causing some matchup problems for a lot of other teams because they can't usually get a long stick on him, and then he gets the favorable matchup with the shorty.
Eric Laud dodging. Ball moves around now to Courier. Shot clock down to 6, and rebound comes right to Denver's Snyder. Shot goes wide, and a fresh shot clock. Fiorito saying it should be waved off, and a shot clock violation, but no, fresh clock. Well, now the officials are talking.
Fiorito's arguing that possession had not changed hands, and that the shot clock should still be moving on. The game clock is still running right now.
Yeah, we're just down to 140, and yeah, it's moving. You can see it there on the screen.
And the game clock was right around 2 minutes when they were having that conversation.
Finally, the clock stops at 1:29, but a full 30 seconds rolled off.
Yeah, at least.
Looking to get things on track here. Did you think there had been a change of possession?
It looked like there was a change of possession. It looked like Boston had it for just a moment, but it's hard to tell sometimes when they're calling the possession being changed when it's a bang-bang play like that.
Well, now they've put the game clock back to 2:02.
Yeah, so because the game clock was right around 2 minutes, so 2:02 is about right. talking things over with
B.J. O'Hara.
Spirited B.J. O'Hara.
Yes. Okay, now we're back to action. Quick shot, saved by Fiorito off the shot there by Kluche.
And they didn't reset the shot clock. They just moved it down to about 15 seconds.
So now we're back to 1:42 and counting down. Boston getting the momentum back with that 2-point goal. Nice left foot save there by Kelly. Now trying to clear with Gobrecht. Good pressure applied there, but up ahead, the big Michael Simon flips it over to Schlosser. Schlosser bursts through a Boston double team. He's gonna shoot and score! That's an early candidate for the Powerade power through play of the game. How about that explosiveness from Schlosser, his second goal of the game?
What you like about Schlosser's game in the last few weeks is that I think he's starting to realize just how good of a player he can be. I mean, we're seeing the business end of that shot, but a few moments earlier, here's where he just splits the double team, and he doesn't just try to slide through it. He moves through it with power, and he just drives right towards the pipe, as opposed to earlier in the season, he was driving towards the sidelines and the pylons. Now he's a little more aggressively towards the far pipe and let that shot go off. That's a guy who's starting to come into his own.
Yeah, early on this season, it was like everything was just being done with his raw athleticism. Now he's bringing in the elements of learning how to play this game at this level, and what a perfect marriage between athleticism and understanding of playing the game, and you get plays like that. So 2 goals from Schlosser, and the Outlaws right back with possession, as there's a 6-second difference between the game and shot clock. Courier trying to pull his way in, backs off. Determined to get that shot off, it was deflected. Possession stays with the Outlaws. Quick restart by Eric Law.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Courier determined. Gets an impossible angle behind the plane of the goal. And here comes Boston with numbers. Pass in front. Oh, and great chance for Cockerton. And then the rebound goal waved off, and now we got pushing. First of all, Cockerton's shot right in front.
Hit the pipe.
Hit the pipe, top pipe.
Then they were in the crease.
So it stays with the Outlaws. And Jack Kelly just lost the head of his stick. As he tried to make that clear, it got deflected, and the head of his stick just broke in half, and there you go. Gonna need a new twig to the second quarter. There he is. Got a busted stick. First quarter in the books. Outlaws with a 6-3 lead here on the 4th of July.
Joe Walters is predictable. He's easy to guard. Jordan Wolf won't pan out. He's a one-trick pony.
Joey Sankey's too small. Joey Sankey won't make it at the next level.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
Lax Sports Network is your home for the most in-depth coverage of Major League Lacrosse every Wednesday afternoon. Make sure to check out MLL Press Pass, the only place to hear from all 9 head coaches as they look back at their most recent game and look ahead. MLL Press Pass every Wednesday at 1 p.m. only on Lax Sports Network. Jack Kelly, Ron, getting his stick fixed, and so it's not as simple as the stick breaking in half.
So what happened was the stick broke, the shaft of the stick broke. And then when he went to the sidelines, he had a hard time getting the head off of the broken end of the shaft. And he didn't want to change heads. So they couldn't unscrew it. So they had to yank it off. Then they had to put the new head on, and they didn't have time to screw that back in. So they just wrapped it with a whole bunch of tape.
So an eventful first quarter here in Denver.
In more ways than one.
As this big crowd still filing in. Here to see some great lacrosse and also the big fireworks show afterwards. Denver looking to win their 6th in a row. They're currently tied with Dallas for the longest current winning streak in the league with 5. The longest winning streak underway right now is Chesapeake with 6 in a row.
Chesapeake is playing some great lacrosse, and they've been doing it without Lyle Thompson, who's still been nursing an injury after coming off of the indoor season, and then he'll be playing in the World Games. Speaking of the World Games, those are going to be starting here pretty soon, and Denver is going to be missing a number of players for Team USA and for Team Canada. So on the Team USA side, Jack Kelly and Drew Snyder are going to be playing for Team USA, and then for Team Canada, Westberg, Chris Cloutier, or rather Zach Courier and Gordon Gilray will all be on Canada's national team. So you think about it, that's 5 players who are not going to be in uniform for the Outlaws on the 22nd when they're home against Dallas. And that's a game they really want to win because they lost to Dallas earlier in the season.
Swinging in front is Law, loses his stick as he tried to get the shot off. And here comes Bronero.
The ageless one.
Hands it off. Cockerton trying to get free. Plays it back to Kyle Denoff. Now here's Max Sebald, the former Denver Outlaw. Sebald still has it, gives it up. Down to 14 seconds on the shot clock. Shot goes high. That attempt there by James Pinnell. Quick restart with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Here we go. Denver extending their defense. And before they could get the shot off, dropped. And here comes Denver racing back the other way. Michael Simon thought about it, instead gives it back to Tinsel, fires and scores!
And it was just matching up to all of Denver's attackmen. And they were going to let either him take the shot, and wisely he dropped it off to Tintle, and Tintle knew that he had time and room and no one was going to get on him, and he was able to bury it.
You know, sometimes you see these defensive midfielders, Ron, and they get typecast as not being offensively. Hey, guys like him were stars all the way up through the ranks and scored dozens upon dozens of goals in their career on the way up. So they know what to do with the ball in their stick.
It's sort of like in baseball, you know, the pitcher is usually considered the easy out, but when that guy was in high school or in college, he was hitting like 500.
So Denver had their lead cut to 5-3, but they've answered with a pair of goals. Boston will get it back to Perkovic, who throws it into Sebald right off the sideline. Perkovic already has a 2-point goal. Sebald has 5 on the season. Instead, just inside the arc, gets a shot off wide right.
And after Perkovic got that 2-point goal earlier in the first quarter, Denver has been pretty mindful on him, not letting him get as much space. But that combination of Perkovic and Sebald is a pretty dangerous one, because not only do they have accuracy, they have depth and they have range.
Finn Sullivan with the pass up ahead to Matt Bocklett. I think one of the most underrated parts of the Denver turnaround this year has been how they've really solidified themselves defensively.
Yeah, from a closed defense perspective, they're one of the best in the league. You know, again, it all starts between the pipes. And when you have a defenseman, when you have a goalie like Jack Kelly, who just seems to stop everything.
Oh, Mikey Schlosser is feeling it in the early going. Already a hat trick, as he is just showing off some nifty moves. Combination of speed and agility to get himself free for another goal.
Just like the way this guy's game is evolving this year. Watch how he's just as decisive. He protects his stick by keeping it in front of him, and also uses his shoulder and his body to shield it away from Edwards, who was right on his back. It's one of the things you start liking about the way Schlosser is playing. And, you know, other guys like Romar Dennis, who the Outlaws just are expecting him to be a game in and game out threat. You start getting those two guys becoming, you know, 2- and 3-point goal scorers per game, and all of a sudden, you know, you become one of the most dangerous teams in the league and the hardest teams to defend, because from the attack side of the line, Denver is just has an unbelievable attack line.
Well, they now have 6 guys with 16 or more goals on the season.
And in Cloutier, they have a guy who's a go-to guy. If they need to get a one-on-one goal, much like in the years when they had John Grant here, he was the guy who you could rely on in a pinch to go and get you a goal.
Romar Dennis with that shot. Pretty easy save, gobbled up there by Fiorito.
And in like 4 steps, Romar Dennis got back on defense. I mean, the guy is a gazelle. Just an unbelievable athlete. An illegal pick by Boston will turn things over for Denver.
Kelly all the way up ahead as Denver quickly with the clear and setting up, getting reinforcements coming on the field as Westberg has it right now. Berg makes his move, nice pass, oh, and wraparound shot behind the shoulder from Cloutier. Cloutier, just an insane start to his Major League Lacrosse career. 4 games, 18 goals, 9 assists, 27 points in 4 games. You do the math.
In his first game, he had a sock trick. 6 goals in his first game, made it look easy.
Averaging a tick under 7 points per game in this, his rookie season. Trying to thread the pass in front to Cockerton. 2 wide. And the ball to the Outlaws. 9:23 left here in the second quarter. Boston had closed to within 5-3, but Denver, led by Mikey Schlosser's hat trick, has extended the lead back to 8-3 here on LSN. Time now for Cascade Under the Helmet, where each week we will introduce you to one of the rookies in Major League Lacrosse. Trevor Baptiste had a record-setting career at the University of Denver, leading him becoming the first ever face-off athlete selected with a pick in the MLL draft by these Cannons. While at DU, Baptiste was a 4-time first-team All-American, just the 6th player ever to earn that honor. And next week he will be in Israel as a member of Team USA as they compete in the FIL World Championships. Baptiste, the NCAA career record holder in face-off wins and face-off winning percentage at an incredible 71%. I mean, Ron, there were games where he would go like 25 of 26 winning face-offs.
Yeah, and the thing about Trevor Baptiste is that he would never take credit for it. He would always say he was getting great wing play, his defense was in front of him, giving him an opportunity to win face-offs. Just a selfless guy. I mean, he's as good of a person as he is a player. And that's saying something because that guy is fantastic.
Here's a shot gobbled up there by Jack Kelly. Nice save off the attempt there by Zed Williams. And Denver right back in transition. Boston scrambling to get back. Here's Tintle, he's already got one. And that shot bounced wide left.
Good shot by Tintle. He recognized that defenses weren't sliding to him. No one was going to pick him up, so rather than run off the field and give it up to the offense, he just stayed on for just a beat longer and gave himself an opportunity.
Here's Drew Snyder. He got Denver's scoring off. And another one. First goal of the game from Snyder, and he gets the 9th goal.
Snyder just comes wheeling down the alley. Edwards is on him. And so Edwards isn't pushing him out. And if you're not going to push him out, that's just a rope. Just some high heat, left-handed overhand shot, able to beat Fiorito eye to high.
And the Outlaws now with a 4-0 scoring run. And their biggest lead of the game at 6. Drew Snyder at age 30. You get to 30 in this league, you're a graybeard.
You are ancient at 30.
Save down to the knees there by Jack Kelly.
We just take these saves that Kelly makes almost for granted. I mean, that was just a point-blank shot. And Kelly went from his left all the way and slid over to his right to make that save. That's just unbelievable.
Still plenty of time on the shot clock at 25. Tintle with a nice job there defensively, pushing his guy out. Aggressive defense. Tintle again. Boy, Tintle is all over the place.
Max Sebald let that 2-pointer go. He's only one 2-point goal away from being 3rd on the Cannons behind, or tying rather, David Evans.
Tough pass in front and a shot clock violation. Good defense there by the Outlaws. And now they take off racing the other way. Here's Cloutier. Kept quiet thus far. Pass in front. Kavanaugh scores! Nifty passing. Cloutier to Balestri to Kavanaugh. Didn't have much of an angle, but he found a way into the back of the net.
The patience of Matt Kavanaugh is what made this goal happen. He just waits one extra beat before letting it go. There's the feed from Balestri, and he just improved his angle by giving himself one extra step to get away from Justin Turry. Watch this on the catch. He didn't shoot it. He just pump faked Fiorito once and then let it go.
This game reaching sort of a critical juncture here for Boston. It's not a high-scoring team. They're last in the league in scoring. This is a Denver team that's a juggernaut on offense, tops in the league in goals. Are we at a point right now where Boston has to be very careful, or this could become a rout?
Yeah, I think Boston's going to have to start figuring out ways, and they're going to go on the power play here in just a moment. And they're going to have to figure out ways to get unassisted goals, because man up or just man to man, they're having a difficult time against Denver. And then again, most teams have a difficult time against Denver from a defensive perspective, because Denver's one of the best man-to-man.
Have been called against Denver. We're in a delayed penalty sequence right here. 2 flags are on the field. Shot goes wide. That one attempted there by Kyle Denoff, and we'll sort out the penalties.
So Courier is going to spend a minute for a slash, and it looked like that slash was on Baptiste.
It was. Kind of a welcome to the league slash.
How are you? Slash.
Are you saying it's like a term of endearment?
Sure.
Like an act of endearment there?
We have a second foul on the Outlaws. Number 9, delay of game, 30 seconds.
So 2 penalties, Adler and Courier, and that will have the Outlaws down 6-4. Right, if you're Boston, 6-4, I mean, that should be absolutely automatic.
Well, if you're Denver, you want to be careful you don't give up a 2-point goal. Giving up 1 is fine when you're 2-man down, but you just don't want to give up the 2.
Shot save made there by Kelly, and now Denver will be able to milk the clock and kill these penalties.
I mean, Kelly's just seeing the ball so well. Stepping out in 2, all of those shots, he's just on point.
Adler's been released, so now it's just a 1-man advantage. But Denver with possession. But first we'll get a timeout. Timeout on the field. Nick Tintle, defensive midi, having himself a game. Both ends of the field. Outlaws up 7.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascades. The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
Fakes in front. Long shoots, he scores! The Outlaws are 2016 Major League Lacrosse champions.
So that's a long off season. Definitely a devastating loss. Probably the toughest loss I've ever had in my career.
To be so close, you're getting closer and closer, and then you're gonna have it pretty much ripped away from you.
It tests you.
What I took from it is we're a championship caliber team.
This is a team that had built itself, had gotten to the playoffs, had back-to-back opening round losses, get to the championship game. To me, the only goal for this machine team in 2017 was to finish it off.
And there it is! For the first time in franchise history, the Ohio Machine has won the Major League Lacrosse championship.
Don't feel sorry for yourselves.
underlying theme throughout the whole season was just find a way. Just find a way to make it happen.
The MLL like you've never seen before. Go behind the scenes of the Outlaws, Cannons, 4th of July game as Warrior and New Balance present Game Day Raw, coming to LSN in August.
The last time the Boston Cannons scored
Boy, that one's almost impossible to stop, isn't it, Ronnie?
That one just comes cross field. Cochran with a bounce, and that just goes into the upper deck. And that is such a goal, a shooter's goal. I mean, there's just no way to stop that. It looked like he was going low to low on that when he bounced it, and then it just went up into the upper deck. The University of Virginia product buries it. One for 3 on their man advantage.
And a chance to play make it, take it. If they can pick up this loose ball, they do. Great play there by Brody Merrill.
If the ball's on the ground and Brody Merrill is within the area code, it's his. Guy's a vacuum.
Oh, what a play there by Nick Tintle. Man, is this kid having a game? Just took it right away.
He's having a heck of a season. I mean, this is the thing that Denver was really missing earlier in the year with the retirement of Noah Molnar. They just didn't have any defensive midfielders. That ball just went flying out of the stick of Eric Law, and it's going to go back to Boston. But, you know, in Denver's heyday, when you start going back through the years, you know, they've been in the league since 2006. They've had so many incredible transition midfielders, you know, guys like Noah Molnar and Justin Pennington, and just guys you could rely on week in and week out to do the dirty work. And you looked at Tintle, and last year he spent a lot of time on the injured list, and you weren't really sure Denver was going to find that kind of a player, and that's why they went out and made that trade to go and get Josh Hawkins here. Needed to get some two-way midfielders, some defensive midfielders in here, and Tintle has just been fantastic throughout the entire 2018 campaign.
Tim Edwards trying to get free. Hawkins, good defense. Shot whistles high off the stick of James Pennell. Pennell, the leading goal scorer for Boston, been kept off the score sheet thus far. There's a 2-second difference between game and shot clock as we tick down to 10 seconds left in the half. Quick shot, gobbled up there by Jack Kelly. Would have gone wide, still makes the save, flings it the length of the field.
Well, last year when he did that,
he got a goal. That'll do it.
History almost repeated itself, Mike.
Oh, well, the goalie was there, though.
Yeah, last year that almost happened.
Halftime, all Outlaws, as they've jumped out to an 11-4 lead.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
Cascade, passion to protect.
Fakes in front, long shoots, he scores! The Outlaws.
BJ O'Hara joins us now. Coach, can you talk a little bit about Mikey Schlosser and the development of his game throughout the course of the season? A hat trick there in that first half.
Coach, now that you go into the halftime, you have
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
and an offensive struggle in that first half for the Cannons.
Yeah, the Cannons in that first quarter, Mike, were able to get 2 points. Perkovic right here with a goal that was a 2-pointer. They've only had 3 goals again with that 1 2-point goal, but it's really been the Denver Outlaws show. You start looking at how many guys have been able to score. It started with Snyder, and then Kavanaugh, and Dennis, and Schlosser all had goals. Schlosser had 3 goals in that first half. Really started to see. But Denver was just really dominant in that second quarter. Tintle scored, Schlosser scored, Snyder scored, Kavanaugh, Cloutier had that amazing left-handed flip goal. And it wasn't until Mark Cockerton scored on the power play, the 13:07 mark, they were able to put one in the score column in the second quarter.
Mikey Schlosser leading the way for the Outlaws with a hat trick. 7 different Outlaws scoring in that first half. So the balance for Denver on display. Taking a look at the first half stats, certainly what jumps out is the battle at X. Max Adler more than holding his own. In fact, leading the face-off battle against Trevor Baptiste.
And Trevor Baptiste, you know, being a rookie, he has some things that he's going to have to learn. We'll see what kind of adjustments he makes going into the third quarter. If he starts maybe trying to clamp and maybe try to get the pinch and the pop and do some of the things that he normally does pretty well.
All right, let's head down to the field and get a chance to visit with Boston coach Sean Quirk. Sean, as you look ahead, what was the message to the team as you come out here down by 7?
Yeah, a couple things. You know, on the defensive side, we just got to do a better job winning those one-on-one matchups. We got to get a little bit better on our 2-slide with them dodging down the alleys. And offensively, we got to take care of the ball. We're just throwing it away. We're a little careless on that end with our possession and face-offs. You know, we got to start battling a little bit more at the face-off X, winning those draws.
Coach, any thought about possibly making a goalie switch, seeing as how you're down 7, or are you going to stick with who you have in between the pipes?
No, the last 5 minutes, you know, we made a change, and Nick Morocco, he's going to start us off in the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
So there you go, the rather bizarre history for the Outlaws on the 4th of July. 8-4, but all 4 losses against Boston. And, boy, some of those Paul Rabel teams came in here and just spoiled the 4th of July party, didn't they?
I mean, you look at 2015. I remember that. That was just a beating that the Outlaws took at the hands of Paul Rabel and company. And you look at it, though, the average attendance here is 31,664. That was their highest attendance in 2015. Tonight, it looks like a packed house as well. It's over. See the lower more or less already filled in. Denver has had its struggles, certainly against those Boston teams, but this is not those Paul Rabel Boston teams.
No. Boston comes in at 3-7, 8th place in the MLL standings. Denver, meanwhile, winners of 5 in a row, up to 6-4, safely in there in the 3rd spot. And I mentioned 7 different Outlaws scoring in that first half. Eric Law, who the last time the Outlaws were here had 11 points. Set a team record with 11 points in their win over the Launch. Has been held scoreless thus far.
Only has 2 assists so far this evening. He assisted on the Zach Courier goal in the first quarter, and then he also assisted on the Mikey Schlosser goal in the second quarter.
But that speaks to the incredible depth of the Outlaws, that Balestri and Law, 2 of your top scorers, no goals in the first half, and yet the Outlaws still up 11-4. We're underway here in the second half. Turnover by the Outlaws, picked up by Brody Merrill. Up ahead, here come the Cannons. Quick shot, save there made as it whistled off the stick of Jack Kelly. Cockerton will put it back into play. Pennell kept scoreless in that first half. He leads the Cannons. 2-point shot. That one goes high. Stepping into that shot was Tim Edwards. Make that Perkovic. 18 versus 16.
It's hard to see those numbers.
There goes Max Seabold. Draws the double. Shot. Nice save going down low was Jack Kelly to make that save on Perkovic. You're right about Jack Kelly. Just, you can tell when he's seeing the ball well, anticipating. He'll come out of his crease to take the shot on, cut down angles. You can just tell he's really seeing the ball and anticipating very well. Schlosser with a hat trick in that first half, leading the way for the Outlaws. Here's Kavanaugh, gets a step, thought about it, instead passes in front to Law. They made there by Morocco. Boy, finding reliable goaltending and really settling on the guy for Boston's been an issue, as they've gone with 4 different goalies this year. And
they picked up the goalie out of Georgetown, who had a heck of a game against the Denver Pioneers in the NCAAs. And it is tough to find a goaltender who you can rely on week in and week out. The Denver Outlaws have been spoiled by having great goaltending their entire history since 2006. You know, it started with Trevor Tierney, and then when Trevor Tierney retired, they went to, what was his name again? I think it was Jesse Schwartzman. Yeah, right? I mean, just only one of the greatest goaltenders ever. And Denver was in goalie purgatory for about a season until Jack Kelly came between the pipes a year. The product out of Brown, he was a late draft pick, I believe in the 7th round. And the guy's just been Mr. Reliable since about his 4th start in MLL.
This is actually with Morocco now the 5th goalie that Boston will have used this year. For Morocco, it's his Major League Lacrosse debut.
And he's the one they brought in out of Georgetown. And they're going to have to, you know, rely on him to the extent they can as they're starting to go to this youth movement. And when you look at this Boston team, I mean, they have some pretty interesting pieces and parts. You know, some of the guys that they have in terms of Perkovic, and of course you have Sebald. You know, Mitch Belisle is very reliable. Of course, Brody Merrill. I mean, these are guys who are mainstays, and you need these young guys to start stepping up and producing. And that's one of the things that Denver has been very fortunate to have. You know, last year they draft Zach Currier, and he steps in and is only the rookie of the year. So when you make draft picks, this year they draft Cloutier, and he comes in right away, makes an immediate impact. These guys have got to step up, and they have to make impacts for your team. You cannot have wasted draft picks in this league. And then you got to find diamonds in the rough too, right? 2 of them right now on the field for the Denver Outlaws, and Romar Dennis. And I mean, not many people knew who Mikey Schlosser was coming out of college.
Coming out of Michigan, not known as being a great lacrosse program. You know, program on the rise, but
typically known as a program that was a club program.
Sure.
But that just goes to show you can find great athletes from all sorts of places. If you can play, you can play. But that just goes to how Denver goes about scouting players and how their coaching staff and BJ O'Hara and company, how they look at different players and how they plug in. I mean, remember, Denver moved on from Jeremy Sieverts this year, and they didn't bat an eye about it. They just said, we're going to move on, we're going to go a little younger. And the young guys have stepped in, they've produced.
Here's Schlosser trying to get a step, does. Shot goes high. I think that Denver's done really well over the years is they've really layered their roster with really good veteran players, and they're always working in new players, young players, and then those young players are ready to take over, and they pass the torch. But they keep that steady influx of young players. They never get stale. They always try to stay dynamic. Always among one of the highest scoring teams in the league.
And they have a culture here, and they have a standard, and it's really interesting when you, oh wow.
Did he get that in? We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Officials are looking at each other. Goal!
They might challenge this.
Cloutier, there was a delay there as question about whether or not he was in the crease, but at least for now, it's a goal by Cloutier.
I mean, he dove into the crease from behind the goal. Take a closer look at this.
We'll see. When we come back, we'll see if that is reviewed. Right now, it's a goal.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
Get to the championship game. To me, the only goal for this machine team in 2017 was to finish it off.
And there it is! For the first time in franchise history, the Ohio Machine has won the Major League Lacrosse Championship.
You don't feel sorry for yourselves.
Underlying theme throughout the whole season was just find a way. Just find a way to make it happen.
In 2015, New York sat atop the lacrosse world. 2016 was the year of the Outlaws. In 2017, saw a takeover by the Machine. Who will get their hands on the Steinfeld Trophy in 2018? Find out on August 18th when the new MLL champion is crowned in Charleston, South Carolina. Tickets are on sale now at MajorLeagueLacrosse.com.
As expected, the Cannons challenged this goal by Cloutier, and it was waved off.
Here's the dive. That part's fine. Watch where his hip lands there, and the ball has not crossed the goal line yet. So that is a good call by Coach Quirk to challenge it, and well done. And that's another reason why you have instant replay to get these things right.
Exactly. Get it right.
And I tell you, Boston needed that. You know, you go down 13-4 on the road. Largest crowd in Major League Lacrosse by far this season, across the entire league. No other team is going to bring in 30,000 in the game.
Terrific effort by Seaball trying to break free. And Kelly there to make another save. Boy, he is on point right now. Now 3-on-2 developing. Pass, pass, goal. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fast break there by the Denver Outlaws. Started with a terrific save by Jack Kelly. Finished off with the goal at the other end by Kavanaugh.
You know, it all starts with Seabald. I mean, Seabald is going one-on-one like a whirling dervish, and there isn't any teamness on Boston's side. And then look at Denver. It's just tic-tac-toe passing. Law over to Cloutier, one more, right down over to Kavanaugh, and just the lefty just puts it home. And that's between these teams. You see Boston is trying to go one-on-one, one guy trying to do everything to get a goal, and then Denver, on the other hand, gets a great save, an outlet pass, another pass, and an extra, and they bury it, and now all of a sudden.
And how about the play by Kelly to kickstart that whole transition?
Sure.
He made the long pass to Law in stride. Another face-off win for Adler.
And the difference here when you start looking at these face-offs, it's not just that Adler is winning them clean, but you can see the communication is different between Adler and his wingman and Baptiste and his wingman. It just seems that Denver's wingmen are in the right place at the right time, and Adler is just getting them the ball in space so they can pick it up on the running scoop.
Well, that was an issue for Denver early in the season. They did not like the wing play they were getting. they were winning faceoffs, or position to win faceoffs, but they weren't getting the score. And they added a guy like Matt Gilray to help in that. But they've gotten much better. Here's a shot. Score! A bullet by Zach Currier. His second goal of the game, and the rout is on.
Zach Currier is such a hard shooter to pick up because he's just so unconventional with what he does. Watch where the stick is in his hands. It's low, and then he goes to mid. High. That's what makes him such a difficult player to defend against when you're a goalie.
So Kavanaugh and Schlosser both with hat tricks, and 2 goals apiece for Snyder and Currier.
This is a great angle of what's going on at X. Just stay here and just watch how Adler is able to beat the clamp right there. And if it wasn't for the trip, see, they called the trip on him, so Denver's going to get the ball. But just see how fast Adler has been able to get into Baptiste. Baptiste is such a great athlete. They drafted him #1 for a reason. He's a dominant player.
Schlosser's shot either hit a post or hit a leg there for Morocco, but Schlosser has just been shot out of a cannon, pardon the pun. He's been firing, and there's another shot by Romar Dennis. Boy, you want to see some of the young guns on display right now for the Outlaws. Watch Schlosser and Dennis.
Yeah, Exhibit A and Exhibit B. And this is the guy who, you know, I've liked him from the minute Denver drafted him. I mean, this guy just jumps off the page with how good he is. Watch this hip scop move. He just plants his left foot. He's 1 step and he's 5 steps behind you. It's just, you know, 5 steps by you. It's just an unbelievable crossover that he can just deke you on at any time. And I mean, he tells you it's coming, but nobody can stop it. And if this guy starts figuring out how to find the 6x6 on a more regular basis, look out.
Romar Dennis breaking ankles out there, and the Outlaws lead swells to 10.
The third quarter is shaping up to be a carbon copy of the second quarter. Denver had 5 straight goals in that second quarter, starting the third quarter with 3 straight. Kavanaugh, Currier, and Dennis. Again, 3 different goal scorers, and Cloris Cloutier with 2 assists.
Finally, the onslaught is stopped by Mark Cockerton, who has a hat trick now. He has scored 3 of Boston's 4 goals. Perkovic had a 2-pointer earlier. Yeah, this was a 5-3 game. This was a 5-3 game before Denver methodically has gone on a what was a 9-1 run, now 9-2.
And, you know, there's a long way to go. With 6:54 left to go, you're only down by 10. You have guys in Sebald and Perkovic who can bury the 2.
But it has to start with Baptiste trying to win some of these faceoffs, get them in a make-it-take-it.
Well, the nice thing about Major League Lacrosse is that you do get the 60-second shot clock, so it's not like teams can milk the clock, but you do have to do something with it. You have to have productive offensive sets.
Baptiste won that one cleanly. And now Boston can substitute, get their attackman in.
Boston's not going to beat Denver one-on-one. They're going to have to figure out a way to find guys open.
On his knees as he was falling was Perkovic. Couldn't get much on the shot.
I mean, again, one-on-one, Denver's gonna beat you. You need to get the ball moving. You got to get Denver defensively moving from side to side and get some action with some screens in front of Kelly. Because if he's just going to be able to stand there and see it, he's going to save most of them. That's just how dialed in he is. And if you just notice the difference between the way Denver spins the ball offensively and the way Boston holds on to it one-on-one. Denver is more of a team sharing, ball sharing, move the ball, get assists kind of team, whereas Boston likes to drive things one-on-one.
Well, if you're Denver, and you look around there and you see all the different offensive options that it really, I think, creates an unselfish brand of play, because you look around and everybody you're seeing out there, you know, is capable of putting the ball in the back of the net.
It's also part of their culture. I mean, that is the way the Outlaws have played lacrosse since they came into the league. I mean, the players have come and gone, but the system, for the most part, has remained consistent.
On the run, getting the goal, is James Pennell.
That's the first time tonight that Boston has scored 2 goals in a row.
So James Pennell, who came in the leading scorer for the Cannons with 20, he gets on the board. Finally, back-to-back goals for Boston, and there's still a sliver of hope, still a lot of time across left, as we're seeing here at 14-6.
In this league, 8 points is not enough. If you're Boston, you just keep grinding. And if you're Denver, you just don't let off the gas.
Adler flips it back between his legs, ball loose. Baptiste just shoves the man aside. Courier, he is a bull in a china shop right there, Trevor Baptiste. As it looked like Courier was going to pick that one up cleanly, and Baptiste just came in and gave him a hip check. And all of a sudden, Courier was out of the picture.
That's right.
Ticking down to 4.5 left here in the third. Big hit there as Pennell goes down. Shot goes wide there from Sebald, who was going after team leading 6th 2-point goal of the season. Here's Zed Williams.
All of Denver's coaching staff is out on the field right now.
Oh, and that one found a way to get through. It looked like Jack Kelly was there, but Cockerton able to find just a sliver of an opening, and he got it past Jack Kelly. So Cockerton, who since he came over to trade from Ohio has been averaging over 4 goals per game, he's got 4. And the Cannons still hanging around.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
In 2015, New York sat atop the lacrosse world. 2016 was the year of the Outlaws. And 2017 saw a takeover by the Machine. Who will get their hands on the Seinfeld Trophy in 2018? Find out on August 18th when the new MLL champion is crowned in Charleston, South Carolina. Tickets now at MajorLeagueLacrosse.com. What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
Big crowd here in Denver for the 4th of July. The fireworks on the field, and then after the game, 14 in the midst right now of a 5-game winning streak. Chesapeake has won 6 in a row. Boy, Chesapeake got our attention when they were here earlier this season, beat the Outlaws 24-22.
Chesapeake is a very dangerous team. I don't think anybody wants to entangled too much with Chesapeake. That is a team that looks like they're headed for championship weekend.
Top 4 make the playoffs. There was a time we were looking at Denver wondering if they'd be in a position when they were 1-4, but they've ripped off 5 in a row and find themselves right there in 3rd place. Schlosser with 3 goals, hands it off to Wes Berg. Berg, a very talented goal scorer in his own right. He has yet to get on the score sheet. Courier. Beautiful passing and the goal. Oh, more beautiful passing, tic-tac-toe style from the Outlaws. Eric Law finishes it off.
The feeding and the ability to find guys in open space. You see Cloutier, he just knows where, he just knows where Eric Law is going to be, and Eric Law is just so difficult to cover off ball because he's constantly moving. Just comes down that back alley, and Cloutier just looks to his backside and puts it right into Law's stick.
First goal for Eric Law. All he did the last time the Outlaws were at home in a 26-15 win over Florida was score 11 points. 7 goals and 4 assists. That first goal of that game, as there'll be a delayed penalty here called against Boston.
And it looks like...
And we got some tempers flaring now as the officials sensed what was happening, quickly stepped in.
And they stopped play. Bocklet was hot.
We'll sort out the flag. Just to finish that quick thought, the first goal was the 150th of his career for Eric Law, and certainly not content to stay there. He added 6 more.
I'd like to see what got Matt Bocklet so hot.
So watch the face-off. There's a slash.
Oh, it was the high hit. There you go. Did not like the fact that Cody O'Donnell, the long stick midfielder, came in and lowered his shoulder and went high.
Number 33 serves unsportsmanlike, 1 minute, no release, serves 1 minute, illegal body check. 2 minutes.
So we got the call there.
1 full time.
And that's full time. So Denver has full time. So Adler has possession. It'd be no problem if you just hit him, right? But you can't go from low to high with your shoulder and get someone in the head area. And that's what got Bocklet so hot. So Denver's going to go on the man up again. They are 0 for 1 tonight.
This is not a team you want to put on the power play, though. Denver, 60%, first in the league in percentage and goals. They have 19 power play goals this year. That's one of those calls, though, as you see Sean Quirk talking about. It's kind of like that gray area that we see in football with the shots to the head. You know, you might have O'Donnell say, well, I was going for his shoulder, but then he lowered himself a little bit. And as a result, my shoulder-to-shoulder intent became shoulder-to-head.
Yeah, but on that one, I mean, if you look at it, it looked like he was going low to high, really trying to lean into him.
So minute penalty, non-release. Setting up Snyder, make that Berg, Wes Berg. Jeez, talk about would he defend all these goal scorers, and then you leave Wes Berg, who was the MVP of Denver's national championship run.
In 2015, and Denver took a grand total of 10 seconds off the shot clock getting that, so they still have another 50 seconds of power play opportunity.
Again, the great ball movement. Look how open Berg is for that shot.
And you just see how much Morocco is having to move from side to side between the pipes. You know, he has to move from left, move to right, back to left, and then that ball goes from back to front, and it's just difficult to pick it up.
O'Donnell stays in the box after that unsportsmanlike penalty. So this is a big face-off here by Baptiste. He needs to win it. Because with the way that Denver's humming along offensively right now, you give them another chance to set up on a man up, and you'd be looking at another goal. Baptiste against Adler.
Adler's going to try to flip it somehow as quick as he can over to Snyder.
Ball loose. 5-man scrum. Still loose. Merrill trying to chase it down. And it'll go back to Denver. Kavanaugh, back to Law, out of Schlosser, working it up top to Berg, swinging around, set up Berg, he thought about it, still thinking about it, Kavanaugh thought about it, Berg, they're ready to fire. Schlosser, Berg trying to create some space, pass in front, score! Oh my goodness, the Denver Outlaws continuing to put on a passing clinic as Berg sets up Law for the goal-mouth score.
So Denver now has 2 goals inside this man up, and so the power play has just come to an end. So they scored just as that power play was coming to an end, so now they'll all be at even strength. But Denver made hay with 2 goals in that 1-minute span.
And with this, their largest goal lead of the game at 10. And Eric Law kept quiet in the first half. You're not going to keep him down for long. He now has 2 goals. Team leading 28 goals. Law is 8th in the league in goals, 6th in the league in assists, and tied for 7th coming in overall in points. Terrific season for the born and bred Denver native, went to college at the University of Denver and starring here for the hometown Outlaws.
Look at Cloutier, how he can just muscle up against a defenseman, and when he gets bumped and pushed, he doesn't seem to move off his mark very much.
6 feet, 230 pounds. And he is just a rock there. And as you say, very tough to move out. Ball down. Berg trying to pick it up. Kennedy comes away with it, trying to run away from a triple team.
Denver just storms defensively.
Eventually comes back to the Outlaws. Save made there, but then a rebound shot by Berg, and another save there made, hacking away at Morocco. Big hits there delivered by the Outlaws, but Boston comes away with it. Cockerton, fire save made by Kelly. Back and forth.
Tremendous save by Kelly. He went from right to left, from low to high, and made that save.
Denver content to slow it down a little bit. Play for the final shot. Shot clock is off. Game clock at 17. Here's Berg. Draws the double team. Pass in front. Trying to get free as Courier. Is it a goal? It's a goal, but then a scrum afterwards. And we got both teams coming together in a pit. Helmet ripped off Kavanaugh's head.
Kavanaugh was hot because he thought he got hit by Belial after the shot, and he did not like that. He just didn't like the cheap shot after he was patient and made the goal score. So you just watch Kavanaugh right here. There gets the pump fake, dips in under, and then he shoots and he scores, and there's the late hit. And that late hit comes from Belial, and then they start going at it, and you know, Belial has obviously been around this league for quite some time. Kavanaugh A little bit younger in the league, but he's a pit bull. He's a guy who's not going to back down to anybody.
Yeah, and you're seeing the frustration boiling over for Boston. It's been a long season, tough season, 3-7. An organization that has a lot of pride, a lot of success.
They also, you know, the last time out, they were down playing against the Bayhawks, and the Bayhawks ran them too.
On both teams, number 85 for Boston, unsportsmanlike, 1.
All right, so you see the call, Mitch Belisle. Kavanaugh now with 4 goals. He's leading the way for Denver.
Second foul, 25 for the Outlaws. Unsportsmanlike, 1 minute. Both full time.
And Denver also got an unsportsmanlike penalty to Courier. So Zach Courier also in there for a minute.
So we'll play 5-on-5 for a minute.
And the officials now, I'm sure, after this third quarter is over, they're going to come together and talk about the idea that, look, this is a bit of a runaway now, a bit of a rout. Emotions are high. It's a big crowd, a lot of energy in the building. They're going to do their best to make sure this thing doesn't boil over in the fourth quarter.
Get a chance to get a good look at Baptiste and Adler.
What has Adler done so well? I mean, we talked about coming in, it was going to be Baptiste's return to Denver, but what's Adler done so well?
He has been really quick tonight. I mean, notice how he's been able to beat Baptiste to the clamp, and he's also been using his wingmen very well tonight, giving them the ball in space. Look at that, chin pop.
Baptiste trying to recover by pushing to the ground. Adler still free, flag thrown. Adler still has it, gets the shot off. He's buried right as the shot clock and the quarter ended. Adler's down. Another flag was thrown. We're going to have 2 penalties against Boston.
Adler has been smoked twice tonight, and this one, I mean, the fact that he's even sitting is just unbelievable.
This is the second time Adler's taken a big shot. First one he shook off pretty quickly. This one is going to linger for a while. Had the stick up around the neck, and then boom. We'll take a closer look at it when we come back for the fourth quarter here on LSN.
Fakes in front, long shoots, he scores! The Outlaws are 2016 Major League Lacrosse champions.
So that's a long off season.
Definitely a devastating loss. Probably the toughest loss I've ever had in my career.
To be so close, you're getting closer and closer, and then you're gonna have it pretty much ripped away from you.
It tests you.
What I took from it is we're a championship caliber team.
This is a team that had built itself, had gotten to the playoffs, had back-to-back opening round losses to the championship game. To me, the only goal for this machine team in 2017 was to finish it off.
And there it is! For the first time in franchise history, the Ohio Machine has won the Major League Lacrosse championship.
Don't feel sorry for yourselves.
Underlying theme throughout the whole season was just find a way. Just find a way to make it happen.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for? Major League Lacrosse on Lax Sports Network is brought to you by Coca-Cola and by Powerade.
Week 12 of the MLL season features 3 games coming up on Saturday, July 7th, before the league takes a week off for the World Games. Things get underway at 4:30 p.m. Eastern with a matchup of 2 teams in the thick of the playoff race. When Charlotte visits Dallas, then at 7 p.m., a pair of games for you to choose from as Ohio travels to Florida and New York visits Chesapeake. LSN's coverage gets underway at 4 p.m. with the Lacrosse Now pregame show, and then get all the highlights analysis after the game on Lacrosse Now.
The New York Chesapeake game is something I'm interested in checking out. Interesting to see where New York is going to find themselves.
Currently in 5th place right now. So that'd be a big win for them. Ready for the start of the 4th quarter. And Trevor Baptiste has been replaced at X as Cody O'Donnell will take the face-off.
Well, Trevor Baptiste is serving time.
That's right. Yep, we had that scrum at the end of the 3rd quarter where Max Adler got hit. There were 2 penalties called on Boston, Baptiste and O'Donnell.
So it's going to be 5-on-3.
And this is a case where move the ball, set up a high scoring percentage shot, and there you go. Cloutier gets it. Boston absolutely powerless. That's a no-hoper right there. 5 kind of weaponry out there on the field.
Just nothing you can do about it. I mean that's tough. They're complaining or saying that maybe Cloutier had his foot on the crease, and we'll have to take a look at that.
That was a great bang-bang play.
Might need to see if his foot went into the crease before it crossed the goal line. They might want to, yeah, and they're going to challenge it. And Boston is going to take another look at it. They won their last challenge, and so we'll see if the tiptoe along the crease, if he stayed out long enough for the ball to cross that goal line before he stepped in the crease. There's no doubt that he stepped into the crease after he shot it.
I think it's a good goal. Watch the right foot. Let me take a look at this. Watch the right foot on the follow through here. Right there.
That's a goal.
Yeah. Can't blame Sean Quirk for trying to go with the instant replay. You're down 19-7 right now. So what do you got to lose?
Look at the fake. I mean, that fake is just so nasty.
How does somebody coming in from college make this kind of an impact? Cloutier with 2 goals tonight. Give a quick look if he has any assists.
Goal is good.
He's 2 assists too. So he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. 3 assists, excuse me. So here's 5 points. So Chris Cloutier in not even 5 games in Major League Lacrosse has 32 points. How do you come in and make it seemingly look that easy?
You know, we've asked him that question a couple of times, and his response to that has been that he's been comfortable playing up his entire career. You know, when he was younger, he was playing with guys who were 2 and 3 and sometimes even 4 years older than him. And so he isn't necessarily intimidated by, you know, the size and the speed and the strength of bigger, stronger, faster guys. But the other part of it is just that he's just good. I mean, he's just good. And when you're good, you're good.
I think what strikes me is that for somebody is the patience. It's he's in these situations right around the goal, surrounded by bodies, and yet he just seems to take his time. He's never in a hurry. At a time where you would think most young players would speed up, he just slows down.
A lot of that, I think, comes from his years playing indoor lacrosse. I mean, when you're playing indoor, there just isn't very much space at all. And how to be patient when you have just a little bit of room and just a little bit of time. And in indoor, you have far less room and far less time than you do outdoor.
Here he is again. It's like too easy. The Outlaws are really putting an offensive clinic, and it's for anybody who's learning the game, picking the game up. When you have this kind of ball movement and this kind of unselfishness, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, and the game isn't this easy. And you notice there that the defenseman,
there.
I mean
no, you're right. He did.
He tiptoed the line.
Great awareness.
But, you know, you start looking at what Muller did there. I mean, Muller's got to come down and put a body on Cloutier. He's got to put him down. You can't just, you know, try to keep him out with your stick. It's just not going to work with a guy that big and that strong. And you can also tell that at this stage of the game, you know, 13:49 to go and you're down by 13, it looks as though you know, Boston is just sort of resigned to the fact that they're not going to win this game. And you know, Denver's made a change in goal. They pulled Jack Kelly out, which I think is a smart move, and they're going to give Dylan Ward the opportunity to run it the rest of the way. Denver's going to have an interesting situation here coming up on the 22nd when they play against Dallas, because Dylan Ward, who's now between the pipes, he is going to be playing for Team Canada at the World Games, and Jack Kelly is going to be playing for Team USA at the World Games. So the question is going to become who is going to be their goaltender. And then also they have to make 5 other position moves. And so that's, you know, see a lot more out of Romar Dennis, see a lot more out of Mikey Schlosser.
That might not be the worst thing, is Kyler Balestri.
Oh, who's he?
Who's he? I mean, this is, folks, this is the kind of balance that Denver has. Their 21st goal is scored by Balestri, his first with 19 as their 3rd leading goal scorer. He's on the board.
And Denver, at the earlier in the season when they were sitting around that 1-4 mark, they made a trade to get Balestri in. And the reason why they made that trade is because they needed help on the right side of their attack unit. And so the 23-year-old product out of Brown has been paying dividends instantly for Denver. And all of a sudden, you know, when they were at 1-4, he was one of their top scorers. And now all of a sudden, he's one of those guys who is getting just 1 goal a game. That's just balanced attack for Denver.
10 different goal scorers for Denver in this one.
And Adler is still in the game.
That's good to see. He got smoked after that shot attempt late in the 3rd quarter. Cloutier just surveying, looking to make a pass, looking for a cutting teammate. Law darting around, sets a pick. Instead, Cloutier will take it himself and score. He spent about 50. You know, I know we joked about it early on, but man, you watch the way he plays and the numbers he's putting up, it does look a lot like John Grant Jr.
Yeah, he's got
that
similar
kind of game.
Yeah, similar mannerisms, similar stick fakes. I mean, Junior, you know, I don't want to compare him to Junior. I mean, Junior is probably, you know, he's on the Mount Rushmore of lacrosse. I mean, let's not put Cloutier there just yet.
You think John Grant Jr. got off to this kind of start in Major League Lacrosse?
Yeah.
Through the first, we'll have to go back and read.
Well, I mean, numbers-wise, maybe not, but impact-wise, John Grant Jr., I mean, guy's sick. I mean, he's unbelievable.
But did he do this through the first 4 games of his career?
Maybe not that many goals, but his body of work, indoor and outdoor, over the course of his career, and the amount of big moment, big goal games that John Grant Jr. had, I mean, you don't have enough fingers and toes to count that.
It's an incredibly small sample size, but you can see why some of those comparisons are apt, you know?
Yeah.
Now, go do it again for the next 15 years.
Correct. That's right.
And then
That's right. You got to stay healthy. Availability is what the greatest skill set is. Yep. Availability. We'll see if you can stay available. You almost did it again. I mean, a lot of players, though, from year one coming out of college, they start off like wildfire. They come in great shape, and their rookie year they can perform. It's their sophomore year that's different. I mean, the question becomes, are you willing to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and put in the time that you have to put in?
Good point. Good point.
And then are you willing to come in your sophomore year and do it year in and year out? I mean, this is Major League Lacrosse where you're making, a few bucks a game. There aren't big shoe deals. You're not signing big contracts here. So this is all about heart and will and dedication, and also just being consistent.
But you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in the history of the league that's had the first 5 games that Chris Cloutier's had.
Yeah, he's been impactful. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's a guy who just leaps off the page.
And we're talking about not full 5 games yet. 22 goals and 12 assists.
I mean, think about it. I mean, the guy's been an offensive machine. And he's dangerous. It's not just the goals that he's scoring. It's the way he sets up his teammates. Like they're doing the wave.
That's cool. I think that's the first time we've ever seen that here.
Yeah, we've never seen the wave at a lacrosse game at Mile High Stadium.
Well, the Outlaws have done their part with a entertaining display here on the field, and then the fun after the game. As the wave makes its way around Mile High Stadium, it's been a wave of Denver offense. 22-7, the Outlaws cruising.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
The most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. The pinnacle of protection, comfort, and vision. Cascade, passion to protect.
In 2015, New York sat atop the lacrosse world. 2016 was the year of the Outlaws. And 2017 saw a takeover by the Machine. Who will get their hands on the Seinfeld Trophy in 2018? Find out on August 18th when the new MLL champion is crowned in Charleston, South Carolina. Tickets are on sale now at MajorLeagueLacrosse.com.
Earlier today, we had the World Series of Youth Lacrosse Tournament. It's a tournament that ran July 1st through today with the finals today. Players getting a chance to get some new kicks.
Our producer Ray was trying to pilfer a pair himself.
Can you blame him?
Well, no, I don't blame him, but he was saying, listen, I don't have a size 5.5. So couldn't do it. Jake Steinfeld was there.
Yeah. Harder shot, look at that, 91 for 7th graders. Some of these guys
are going to be on this field soon.
Yep. Their time will come. I feel quite confident in believing that there will be a future MLL player or two on that highlight that we just saw. More highlights, by the way, coming up on LSN.
And this is the opportunity, I think, now for Denver to start looking at some other players who they might need to spend a little bit more time on the game against Dallas on the 22nd. Denver's going to off now between now and then.
This is one of those things where they probably don't want the time off.
That's right.
Because they'll be winning their 6th in a row. Save there made by Morocco.
Their attack will be intact. It's just between the pipes where they're going to really miss Jack Kelly.
You talked earlier about how, did that one stay out? We'll wait. Nope, it's going to be called a goal. Snuck through.
Hustle play.
Cockerton will get credit for it. For Cockerton, that's his 5th. This guy's had himself a game. 5 of the 7 goals scored by Boston.
He came out from Ward and he couldn't cover it up. I don't know. You might want to, I don't know. Denver might want to take a look at it to see whether or not his elbow hit the ground. I don't know. I don't know if that's a goal. I don't think that's a goal, actually. It looks like his glove was in the crease on the ground before the ball went across the goal line.
BJ O'Hara's looking up at the big board to see whether or not he wants to throw that challenge flag.
It's not like it's going to matter with 8:15 to go, but it sure looked like his stick or his hand was in the crease.
Denver will not challenge, will play on.
Would you have challenged that? At this stage of the game?
Probably not. With this kind of a lead.
Would have.
Well, you're ruthless.
That's right. I would have. Because it doesn't do you any good to keep it in your pocket and take it home with you. So you might as well give it a go. And you never know in this league if it comes down to point differentiator. If you get a point differentiator, you might need it. You never know.
Oh,
maybe not. I don't know.
Well, they get it right back. Hey, man, Cloutier's just having himself a second half.
So now you start wondering to yourself, like, you know, who's the player of the game?
Well, initially I thought we were looking at Mikey Schlosser.
Right.
Because he had the hat trick in the first half. But then you got Matt Cavanaugh's got 4 goals. Cloutier's got 5.
And he's going up against Brody Merrill. And Brody Merrill is just, I mean, he's in great position. And he's able to just move Brody Merrill off his mark.
But we had Cloutier our last game.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, 6 goals. I mean, these are first world problems, Mike.
I mean, do you want to talk to Schlosser?
Let's do that.
I mean, he was.
I mean, he was
when
pretty
it was
dynamic.
when it was a close game. At the start of the game, he was Denver's best player. We'll see if we get confirmation from the powers that be as Boston scores another one from Cockerton.
Cockerton has 6 goals. Maybe he's the player of the game.
Sock trick there for Cockerton.
Cockerton's has a nice game. This guy is he's definitely a glue guy. So Boston has someone they can build around and someone they can rely on game in and game out. He's been player by far since they picked him up from Ohio. The Virginia product is going to be a good addition to these Boston Cannons, who are clearly in a rebuilding mode.
Cockerton and Eli Gobrecht sharing a little bit of a laugh. I mean, we could talk to Kavanaugh too, but we haven't talked to Schlosser yet this year. Flag down, goal score. Is that Cockerton again? No, Edwards. Tim Edwards gets the goal, his 4th of the season.
Outlaws foul is waved off. Goal is good.
There was a delayed penalty against Denver, but that gets wiped away with the goal. You said earlier when we were talking about Chesapeake, you're like, "Whoa, nobody wants to play Chesapeake." What do you? As we take a look at the goal here, what do you think the view around the league is of this Denver team when it comes down to the argument of teams you don't want to have to play?
I think it's probably the same thing. You look at these two, you look at both of those two teams, and they're just playing such high level lacrosse, offensively and defensively, as Courier just gets lit up. I mean, he is going to have some serious stick marks across his body when he wakes up in the morning. But I mean, you look at the way both of these two teams are playing, and they're both offensively, both of them are dangerous. I mean, the game that we called here a few weeks ago, I mean, it was the last team with the ball is going to win the game. There was so many goals scored, and it wasn't as though the defense was bad in that game. There was actually some pretty good defense played in that game. It was a hot day here at Mile High Stadium, and they were going up and down, and there was good defense played. I think that if you start looking at the way Chesapeake is matched up, I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of a team they are after the World Games and if Lyle Thompson is healthy. Because Lyle Thompson adds a different dimension, and then the question becomes, does that dimension ruin your team chemistry and your team flow? Because he's a guy who likes to create and likes to create with the ball in his stick. Denver, on the other hand, you look at Denver, and they're not a one-trick pony or a one-guy team. They're a share-the-ball kind of a team. And I like the goaltending that Denver's getting. So I might give, in a big game, I might give the edge to Denver. Just a slight edge. And that would be if Denver was playing at home. But if Denver in the playoffs was playing on the road, I would definitely give that edge to the Bayhawks.
Denver on their way to going to 5-1 here at Mile High. They're only 2-3 on the road this year. They will get a chance to improve their road record as they will finish off the season with 2 road games at Chesapeake and at Atlanta.
That Chesapeake game's going to be them.
Westberg playing it back out top. 4:35 left in this one. More beautiful passing. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to give it to Cloutier, huh? 6 goals for Cloutier. The rookie is making it look easy. Outlaws up by 2 touchdowns.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
We built this cleat for the player who works tirelessly, day in and day out. We built it for the player who pushes their body to the limits, all to get that extra step. We built it for the player who wants speed. We built it for her.
taking a look at the upcoming schedule for the Outlaws as season moving along briskly. We're down to, after tonight, regular season games left. Home against Dallas and 2 on the road at Chesapeake and Atlanta. So these next 2 games for Denver will come up against teams that currently, between them, have won 11 in a row. Chesapeake in the midst of a 6-game winning streak, Dallas 5. Good look at Mikey Schlosser, who, back when this was a game early on, he was the star for Denver as he scored 3 goals. He's been quiet since then, but more than enough fellow Outlaws picking up the slack.
Denver at this stage of the game is just playing the 4 corners. No need to get any more goals. And it might be the only time that I've ever said to not keep your foot on the gas in this league at the 4-minute mark with a 14-goal lead.
You notice the field with a lot of bare spots. This was a part of the turf that had been replaced and was pristine and new about a month ago, but they had a concert here the other day with the Eagles and Jimmy Buffett. And the field took a bit of a beating. Oh, it was actually Kenny Chesney. Yeah, that was here. Those of you who watch football come the fall, it'll be brand new.
We have the fireworks after this game, but just across town, the Colorado Rockies are playing baseball, and they're having their fireworks show, so fireworks everywhere.
Yes, it was Jimmy Buffett over at the baseball stadium earlier this week. Kenny Chesney here. Dylan Ward gives up that goal to Rogers. And for Boston, you know, you're looking at a team that's in rebuilding mode, that's looking to get younger. They use that first-round choice on Trevor Baptiste, and certainly as he learns more about the MLL game, figure he'll become a dominant force at X for them. And in this league, when you have that ability to go make it, take it with your face-off guy, and also somebody that can win face-offs and go down and make plays, Baptiste figures to be a franchise-type player.
He is going to look at this again and try to learn from it,
yeah,
because it has been a clinic for Adler tonight. I mean, Adler came into this season in great shape, and he was playing so well that he made Tommy Kelly expendable. They traded him off to New York.
I'm sure Adler was really looking forward to this game and the challenge, because here you got Baptiste, the kid from Denver, the homecoming, the #1 overall pick in the draft, and Baptiste, that was the talk surrounding. I think Adler was just like, hey, don't forget about me. Zach Currier, the highlight reel goals by Denver tonight.
There have been like 5 of them.
We have to come up with 1 for the Powerade power-through play of the game.
I like the Schlosser goal for the Powerade power-through play of the game. Maybe we'll give him that. That was pretty good. Look at this goal by Currier, all the way around his back to improve his angle where he had none. The degree of difficulty of that is a 10, and he made it look easy.
All right, so here we go. Let's go through the rundown. Cloutier's got 6 goals. Kavanaugh has 4. Schlosser has 3. Currier has 3. Snyder has 2. Law has 2. Dennis has 2. So it's our choice. We've been given the word from downstairs. Did we go Cloutier or Schlosser for our Coca-Cola player of the game? Now, we had Cloutier last game.
I don't know. You can't not give the player of the game to a guy who has 6 goals.
Yeah, but we went with Cloutier the last game, and Law had 7 goals in that game.
I know, but Cloutier's were more impactful.
I mean, we would not exactly be breaking from anything, because
That's true.
We went with Cloutier last game, And in that same game, Eric Loss had a team record with 11 points. And we were justified in going with Cloutier, but we bypassed. So maybe in this case, Cloutier has the astronomical stats, and we'll go to Schlosser. Plus, he's got great hair.
Okay.
Just for the hair.
Just for the hair. The hair,
No.
it was sort of like rocks, paper, scissors, hair.
Hair, right.
And then he got it.
All right, Mikey Schlosser will be
Mikey Schlosser will be our guy. He got it. Yeah, rocks, paper, scissors, flow.
You or me, who's going to ask him about hair product?
I think we should both ask him about it. And the question becomes,
What
is
do
he
you
ever
use?
going to cut his hair? How long has it been since he had a haircut? These are the things that people need to know, Mike.
Sure.
They need to know, like, when was the last time you had a haircut? Are you thinking about cutting your hair? If you did, what kind of a style would you go with? Has anyone ever threatened to cut your hair?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at
I mean, flip, flop, flop.
Look at that. Look at that mane.
Brian Langtree used to have hair like that.
He did. That thing is just awesome.
He needs to be in a commercial.
Final 30 seconds. As Denver will win their 6th in a row, they will improve to 7-4 and stay firmly entrenched in 3rd place. And they'll finally beat Boston in a 4th of July game.
It's been
They've never done it. Cannons were 4-0 here in this 4th of July game in Denver. Gave Denver fits. But Denver will improve to 9-4 all time in this signature event. Haven't seen the numbers yet for this game, the attendance, but definitely up around 30,000. Big crowd here. They roar their appreciation for the Outlaws as Denver, impressive 25-11 win over the Boston Cannons. And our player of the game, Coca-Cola player of the game, a hat trick early on when it was still a competitive game, Mikey Schlosser.
Schlosser did have a nice game. He had a hat trick, and he also wins best flow. But it was the Powerade power through play of the game right there that I think was the reason why we like it, because he was able to break through 2 guys. I think that the other thing is that you start looking at it in terms of significance of where he fits in this team and how he's evolved as a player in his first year in Major League Lacrosse.
Well,
and he also gets the Powerade power through play. So it's a defecta.
Here it is. Let's take a look at it. The Powerade player through play of the game. Actually, we're going to give that one to Cloutier. Yeah.
That was pretty solid. He just scooped it left-handed, low to high, upper deck.
So the Outlaws making it look easy as they get the win here over the Boston Cannons, and now we get ready for the big fireworks, although I don't know if the actual fireworks display match what the Outlaws just did here. Once again, our final score from Denver as the Outlaws beat up on Boston 25-11. For Ron Zwerin and our entire crew, I'm Mike Evans. Thanks so much for watching Major League Lacrosse here on Lax Sports Network as the Outlaws improve to 7-4. We'll send you back now to the LSN Broadcast Center and Lacrosse Now.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Have you heard? Lax Sports Network is now free. You can enjoy over 150 live games, including all of the MLL regular season and over 200 hours of original content. Check us out at laxsportsnetwork.com or download the LSN app. Available on iOS, Android, Roku, Chromecast, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Xbox. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?